Welcome to PPR podcast number 97. My name is Paul. Oh, hang on. My name is Paul Rudy. To my right is the star of the podcast, Mr. Bert Grossman, formerly the 8th pick in the 1962 draft. 63 draft. Bert?
Yes.
Introduce the hot seat today.
Well, first before I introduce him, did you cut your mullet off?
No. I mean, I trimmed the back a lot because it was getting pretty hot when we started spring practices, so I had to trim it down a little bit, but it's still there.
3/4 of our questions were about the mullet. Now we got to rewrite. Ryland Jessee, Helix High School quarterback. Welcome.
With 2 E's.
Yep, 2 E's at the end.
I want to apologize for every time I misspelled your name in the last 3 years, sir.
Yeah, no worries, no worries.
So, Ryland, I'm going to get the first question because everybody asks us. You're a 4-year starter, right? Assuming you win the job this year?
Yes.
Tell me about, because I think we might have been at that game. I don't remember, but I remember the game. Your first start as a freshman.
Yeah.
Did you throw up? Were you nervous? Like, how does that go? You're at this storied program and you're, 14 years old, and you have to get behind it and run the whole offense. What was that first game like?
It was scary. It was definitely scary because we played Saints and they were really good that year. They had a really good defense, and so it was pretty scary. And then, you kind of just start playing and kind of forget about everything that's going on. You're just playing football. So I definitely got used to it, but at the start of the game, I was pretty nervous.
Ryland, you're out of one of the renowned programs in the county, certainly in the 24 years I've been here, and I know it was that way before I was here. How many 4-year starters have emerged from the Helix charter program? Have you ever counted that?
No, I haven't. I'm pretty sure Reggie Bush was a 4-year guy. Leon Noah was a 4-year starter.
Was Alex Smith, or you don't know?
I think so. I think Alex Smith played 2 years. I think he played junior year on varsity. But yeah, those are the only 2 I know for sure.
I mean, so then take a bow, young man. That, regardless of what happens in the rest of your career going forward, and I know great things will, but that's quite the accomplishment to be in that company at that school.
No, yeah, I mean, it's definitely an honor, and it's a super unique opportunity. It's been super, super fun to be able to play 4 years, or so far 3 years of football.
Well, how many kids stay 4 years at one school now? I mean, it doesn't even happen that often.
Yeah, there's a lot of shuffling around in the off season. It's getting pretty crazy.
Man, you kind of look like Taylor. I hope you don't let yourself go like he did, but you look like him.
Okay.
Like Jessee?
Yeah, he does look like a young one. But, I mean, Taylor let himself go, so, you got to just don't look like that at 30.
Okay.
Well, you bring him up. Talk about what Taylor brings to you as far as an offensive coordinator. You guys are that air raid type deal, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we transitioned last year into more of a spread offense, and it's been super fun. I mean, like, the energy that Coach Taylor brings to the team is incredible. I mean, you've seen him. I mean, I'm sure you heard about what happened to him in his arena game.
Yeah, he got ejected last week. He got thrown out of the game.
You thought you had a bye.
No, we never bye. He got thrown out.
For what?
Ryland, tell him why I got thrown out.
He said, I mean, I can't say exactly what he said, but, he said some things to the ref and got kicked out of the game. But, like, that's probably my favorite thing about him is that he just coaches. Like, he's very passionate about football, and he's very passionate about winning. And so I think that's what makes him a great fit at Helix, is that, it's just all about winning.
What's the biggest difference? I mean, it's air raid, obviously, between Robbie Owens' offense and Taylor's offense. Was that hard to adjust from one to the other, or was it smooth for you?
I mean, I thought it went pretty smooth. I mean, we definitely struggled a little bit last year, just because it's tough because, we changed the entire offense. But, I mean, I would say the biggest difference is that we just threw the ball a little bit more. I mean, my sophomore year, we ran the ball a lot, which made sense because we had a great running back. But this year we transitioned and we threw the ball a little bit more. So that was probably the biggest change.
Taylor, I like the X and O's of football.
That's Ryland, not Taylor.
Excuse me.
God.
Ryland, excuse me. But I wanted to ask you about Coach Taylor's offense, as I understand it, I apologize, my mind is not working. But as the way I understand Taylor's offense, it's having a receiver at every level downfield. Is that the air raid game? Explain that to me, please, Ryland.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the gist of it. It's really just about trying to spread the field out and make the defense cover, because there's 53 and a third yards and sideline to sideline. So it's really just about trying to have a guy in every space so that the defense has to cover the whole field.
And with that, I guess a lot of people don't know, you had, after sophomore year, you had knee surgery, right? So you couldn't go to like any of these throwing camps, any of these showcase, anything like that. What is that like for recruiting when going into your junior year, you can't show off or be exposed?
It was tough, but I mean, I knew I needed to get my knee fixed, and so I got it fixed. And so, now everything's good with it. And, but it was definitely tough to, watch all these other guys be able to go to all the camps and go work out for coaches and everything. But, it was necessary, so I got it done.
Have you been busy this offseason doing a lot of the showcases, camps and things?
Yeah, I've been to a couple. And then I know June's the month when a lot of the showcases and stuff are. So I'll be busy. I'll be busy in June for sure.
Have you update us on your recruiting right now? How many offers are you committed? Help me out.
So I'm not committed anywhere right now. I have an offer from Nevada and Georgetown, and those are the only two right now.
And obviously, you're hoping to build on that. When it comes time to make the decision, I have a suggestion for you.
What's that?
Make it on KUSI and make it live on the PPR, or make it live on our airwaves.
Yeah, I'm sure we could do that. We could figure that out for sure.
Okay.
And just so you know, I predict where every junior is going to go to college. So
where's he going?
He's going to San Diego State.
Would you
my first San Diego State prediction?
Would San Diego State interest you, kid?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's too early to be making decisions, but I mean, I'd be interested in going just about anywhere. So we'll see. We'll see.
Once I say it, it happens. You know that, right?
Well, I want the best for you, and frankly, I just want you to be happy. I mean, the way the bop's around, whatever you commit to, you'll probably end up at two other places before it's all over. Just the way college football is now. It's just, I mean, nobody goes somewhat. So when you see these rankings, and I know you want your name up there, I know you've probably pitted yourself against some of these players, and you feel like, hey, my arm is just as good, I've had just as much success, and yet somehow, because of whether your availability or not, you haven't been able to participate in these camps, which seems to determine a lot of these national rankings. Does it bother you that your name's not in the conversation with a Julian Sayin or a Keely Smith, or will that come in time, do you think?
I think it'll come in time. I mean, really right now, I'm just worried about making sure myself and my team are ready to play football in the fall. So that's my biggest focus and our team's biggest focus right now. So there's nothing I can do about that kind of thing. So I just don't really worry about it. I can't control it.
Speaking of that, I think you guys have coming up this year. Did you guys lose like one starter or two starters from the entire team last year?
Yeah. So we're returning about 30 seniors, so we'll have about 30 seniors on this team. Yeah, so we have a super old team.
Yeah, and you probably only lost two or three starters, if that, from last year's team, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. So on offense we lost 3 starters, and on defense I think we lost 2. So yeah. And
30 seniors. This might be the year.
I mean, that would make you a team to watch, and yet everyone's talking about Carlsbad and Lincoln. Maybe you're in the perfect place where you have this old team coming back and attention elsewhere. This is when you can surprise a lot of folks, right?
Absolutely. It definitely is. I mean, we're going to be we have a lot of talent, so it's really just about pulling it all together and winning football games.
And staying healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And the first 3 weeks you play Madison and Cathedral, right? So you'll know pretty soon. Or everybody else will know pretty soon.
Yep, it'll be after the first 5 games. It'll be very clear if we got it.
Where's I saw your opener in St. Francis. Where's that at?
It's in the Bay Area.
Oh, you're going up? Are they coming here or are you going there?
We're going up there.
Oh,
Yeah.
all
So
right.
that'll be a good game.
Hold it. The Bay Area. So is that a plane ride or is that a bus trip? A real.
I don't know. We'll see. You have to talk to Coach DiMaggio about that. I'm not really sure yet.
It's not Cathedral. It's a bus ride.
Well, that's a long bus ride.
That is a long bus ride. And then you got to stay overnight in hotels.
Why can't you just come back through the night?
Really, 8 hours there? Well, you can't go 8 hours and then hop on the football field. You got to stay there the night before.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you can't do that.
You brought up Coach DiMaggio. Could you talk a little bit about how he seems like just the kind of. If I had a kid and I was going to send him to a high school football program, I'd really be really comfortable having that young man look after my young man. Can you speak to him as a coach?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's a great coach, and he went to Helix a really long time ago, and he's a great coach. Like, he holds everyone accountable, and he treats everyone like very, very good. So, he's a great guy and a great coach.
Why did you have to say a really long time ago?
Yeah, I think he would love to hear the fact.
He played with. I think he played with Reggie Bush, so it was a pretty long time ago.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it was a pretty long time ago.
Oh, he's
Wow,
going to love that.
yeah.
I'm going to bring that up next time I see him.
A really long time ago. Imagine if they knew when we played, Paul. Goodness gracious.
Has the game slowed down for you? Now you're a 4-year starter. You have quite the advantage in that. How many reps have you gotten compared to the average starting quarterback in county?
A lot. So I've played I played 6 my freshman. I played near 30 high school football games on varsity. So it's great. I have a lot of experience. So it's a big advantage, definitely, because I've seen a lot more teams and a lot more football than I think most quarterbacks.
And tell me, because I asked you earlier about your freshman year, that first game. So did they even let you throw a pass in that game?
Yeah, we threw a pass on the first play, actually. We threw a post right out here.
So you knew exactly what you were throwing? It was like you had one option. If that wasn't open, you had to just run?
Yeah, I knew I was throwing. I knew we had a post out there, so I knew I was throwing it deep on the first play. We didn't complete it, but it was fun. It was exhilarating.
I bet.
Yeah.
So ask me, where did you play youth football at?
So I played for Point Loma Pop Warner in 7th grade, and then I played for LCC Pop Warner in 8th grade. So I only played.
Go ahead. 2
years.
So I'm always fascinated by the process of where you decide to go to high school. Mm-hmm. And is that, Helix is charter, so kind of anybody can go, but is it when you come out of youth and obviously, you were highly rated and probably Saints wanted you and some other people, how does that process go now when you're coming out of youth football, picking a high school?
So my dad and I just kind of, every Friday we would pick a high school football game and we would just go watch. And then we ended up, watching Helix play, and then we just kept coming to games. And then when my dad kind of started to ask me, hey, which high schools, do you kind of like the most? I was like, yeah, I like Helix. I want to go there because they were the best team. So I was like, yeah, man, I want to be the quarterback at Helix. And so he was like, all right, let's see what we can do. And so I got in, and, now I'm here. It's great.
Of course you got in.
So in essence, you recruited the school. The school didn't recruit you. You were proactive in this decision.
Yep. So I really wanted to go to Helix. So, and then we kind of, I just really wanted to go here. And then I got in contact with the coaches, and they kind of, told me that it was possible for me to get in.
I'm sure they did.
Yeah.
Oh no, we don't want you, Ryland.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was a phone call they would love to get.
Yep.
Have a blue chipper fall out of the trees.
So how does that work? So, we know how it works in college. You sign and then a coach leaves or goes somewhere else. Is it kind of, do you worry a little bit? And when Robbie says he's going to take a college job and leave, before you know DiMaggio's getting in, before you know everybody's staying, but it's Helix, so you know everybody's staying. Does that worry you at all? Did it worry you? When
Coach Owens left?
Yeah.
Yeah, I I was more sad to see him go because I thought, he was a great coach, and he knew a lot about football. So I was worried about who we were gonna hire, and then obviously we got Coach DiMaggio, and so after we got him, I knew we were good because I knew he was gonna make the right decision on who to hire to call plays. So and then we got Coach Taylor, and it was great. So, but I was definitely worried when Coach Owens left. I was a little bit worried.
I mean, somebody might come in there and run wing T or something like that.
I was a little bit worried, but once we got Coach DiMaggio, I trusted he would, do what's best for our guys in the team. So I was happy with that.
Is that how much of that is a factor now for a passer to pick an offense that wings it as opposed to wing tees it? You want the ball, you want to throw the ball, and the style of offense. Is that a predominant concern now for a young player who's picking a school? If he's a passer?
Probably. Are you talking about like kids going into high school or kids going into college?
Yeah, well, I mean, like for instance, or if you're picking your high school and you're just one of those transfers, like I'm wondering, does it work against Cathedral now that they're kind of a run-first team, attracting a top-level passer like Ryland? Is it?
Well, this is an example. If Ron Gladnick runs wing T at Torrey Pines, he goes to Saints. He's not going to get a quarterback there if he can. I mean, he knows enough that he's got to change the offense. So yeah, I think it makes a huge difference.
Because back in the day, you just tried out for the team, and it's changed so much from back in the day.
It's changed. Yeah, it's changed a lot. Yeah.
So Ryland, we played. This is how the starting quarterback was picked. They'd have a competition. Whoever could throw the ball the farthest was the starting quarterback, and that was it.
The quarterback.
And there was only 3 plays.
That's true. That was we had 12 plays. The line splits were like.
Yeah, there was no check down.
There's no call.
The 3 plays, I'm going to throw it to him, or him, and there's no check down, there's no anything. This is Paul's time, not mine.
But tell us about now. How alert do you have to be? When you go up, are you guys doing the call 2 plays in the huddle, and I'll tell you which one we're going to do at the line of scrimmage? How sophisticated is it at the high school level?
I would say we keep it relatively simple. I mean, we're not. Like, we don't call 2 plays in the huddle. I mean, so we're primarily a no-huddle offense. So we're all signals for the most part. So we'll run a play, and then when we complete a pass, we'll go on the ball and we'll get a signal. So we'll get a signal for formation, and then we get lined up in the formation, and then we get our play.
All right.
But it's all signaled.
Come on, do one for me.
Oh, come on. Wait, I got one question for you. Get you all crazy.
Can't do it.
Are you allowed to change the play or audible yourself, or would Taylor kill you? So you're allowed to change.
Yeah.
You're allowed to change.
I can change the play. I can change the play, and I can change the protections and everything. So
when you get to the line of scrimmage, you pick the protection too?
Yeah, so I can pick the protection. I can change the protection.
And you're doing all that with your hands?
No, so for the protections, I'll say, we have calls for that. So I'll say it, I'll yell it.
And then does Jimmy Cook ever yell at you if you change the protections? Yeah.
He's not much of a yeller, but he'll, if I mess one up and they let a guy through, I'll hear from him for sure.
Well, none of that stuff existed back in 1978.
No, if we ever changed the play, if we got to play quarterback, and so you imagine changing the play.
No, you have to. I mean, you're a smart guy. So which take me into the classroom. Are you a student of football, or are you also a student? Is there things in the classroom that interest you?
I like to learn. I like to challenge myself, but
what's your favorite subject?
I get good grades. I get good grades. My favorite subject's probably English. I like English a lot.
Why?
I just like to write. I like, not like essays, not like research essays, but I like to write like stories and things of that nature. So that's probably my favorite subject. All
right, well then write the opening paragraph to your essay on why we should pick you to be on the Silver Pigskin podium in 2023.
I think you'll see it. I think you'll see it this upcoming season. We got a lot of really, really good athletes, and, we're going to put on a show and win a lot of games. So I'm fired up.
What would it mean to you to be selected as one of the 5 top players in the county to be at the gala that night?
It'd be great. It'd be fantastic. But really, I think I think it'll come when we win a lot of games this year. So I mean, right now, winning's our number one thing. We didn't even really get close to where we wanted to be last year. So winning's our number one priority this year.
1,800. I'm going to do yours. So 1,800 yards last year, new offense, coming off knee surgery, 27 touchdowns, 60% passing. What would the ideal look like if this was the end of the season right now? What would your stats look like at the end of the season? Give me a prediction.
I don't really know. I mean, I'm not really worried about that. I just want to win. I just go undefeated, beat everybody.
He's not like you, Bert. He's not interested in yards. He's interested in W's, right? I mean, at the end.
I would have never said that in high school. I would have never said, as long as we win, I'd be like
15 sacks,
yeah.
30 pressures.
These guys suck. I'm not playing with them.
2 dates with the head cheerleader.
I went to an all-boys school. There was no head cheerleader.
Well, that's probably more fitting. Ryland, as we wrap this up, and I appreciate you making time for us, talk to the young kids who are going to watch this probably about, describe how you got to where you're at and your advice for them to maybe follow in your spikes.
Really just work hard, stay focused. Don't get distracted. That's the biggest thing. Just don't get distracted. Stay focused.
And last question, when do you think, for a kid, when do you think it's time you should be laser focused on football? Is it youth football and nothing else, or is it high school, or should it not even be in high school? Should it never be just all about football? It should be other sports?
Yeah, I definitely think, everyone should play a second sport in high school. I played basketball. I didn't play, I'm a hypocrite. I didn't play basketball this year. But I played basketball the last 2 years. I think it's great to play a second sport. I think it's super fun, and you get a little bit of a break after football season if you play another sport and kind of get recharge your batteries.
Hey, tell us about your dad and your relationship. How important is he in your development?
He's super important. I love my dad. I love my mom. My parents are just super, super supportive of me. And, ever since, 8th grade, I came to them and I said, hey, I want to take football serious. And they've been super supportive, ever since then. And it's been great,
So you didn't, I think you said you only played 7th and 8th grade for youth football? Yeah,
so I only played youth football in 7th and 8th grade.
How come you didn't start earlier? Because, most of the kids are starting like 5 years old now.
Yeah, so I was playing, I just played flag football all through, elementary school and middle school because my parents didn't really want me to play tackle football.
Good choice.
Yeah. All right,
yeah.
Well, we started this conversation with hair. We should probably finish with it. Your hair tips, your stylistic tips. What would you say?
My hair.
Yeah.
Product? What kind of product you use?
Are we using a lot of product? What's the trick to the look? Because you got a great look. Your cover of Sports Illustrated look. Yeah,
I don't know. Just grow, business in the front, party in the back. It's the move.
Right.
Just grow it out.
Don't let yourself go like Taylor. Remember that. If you take anything away from this podcast.
All right, I won't.
You cut back on the carbs.
Okay, I will. All right.
Young man, thank you for making time for us. We're sorry to drag you through the internet fiasco, and we'll start posting this. Could you do me a favor? You're on Instagram. Where else are you? Are you on Twitter?
Yep, I have Twitter.
All right, make sure you're following me, and I'll tag you on both those. Also follow me on follow the PPR everywhere. Are you on Facebook?
I'm not on Facebook.
And I assume you're on TikTok. No.
Yes.
You are.
Yes.
All right, we're not. So I'll tag you on Instagram and Twitter. Okay.
All right, sounds good.
And thank you for making time. I look forward to meeting you face to face. Do you have anything you want to say?
Absolutely.
I don't know. You got MySpace?
Nope, no MySpace.
Right, just checking. We're going to tag you
All
there
right,
too.
Ryland. Have a good, safe day, okay?
All right,
Thank
you
you.
too. Have a good one.
This podcast is over.